the tight ends and fullbacks for 10 years. And then 2019 transitioned to offensive coordinator, was offensive coordinator there for 5 years. Throughout the time, getting to know people, connections, was at Pro Day and met Dan at Pro Day and had a great conversation. I believe it was Trey Lance's Pro Day. And, after that, stayed in touch. Opening came about, and, one thing led to another, interviewed. Didn't end up getting it. Learned a ton through that process. And then this offseason, we got back in touch, and one thing led to another and got this opportunity. And, something that I've worked hard for, as a coach, you're always telling your players, hey, get out of your comfort zone, grow, push to be your best. And when this opportunity came, I was really happy at Iowa State. I was. Matt Campbell was unbelievable. And me, my family, we could have been really comfortable. But when you have the opportunity to coach the tight ends of the Detroit Lions, something I sprinted towards. And, the vision here, the culture, the environment, what this all entails, it's just something that I was very grateful to get and excited for this opportunity.
David Shaw was saying something like he always envisioned himself as an NFL head coach, or an NFL coach, I'm sorry. Was this always maybe a goal on your radar that you wanted to coach in the league?
Growing up, watching the Super Bowl, you kind of have that feeling like, I want to be there. That's something I aspired towards. And, just wanting to coach the best. Where can you as a teacher, as a coach, as a mentor, add value, provide value, establish an identity with your position group? And, my goal for the room is to play with physicality, to play with the right intent. My goal is to play with one speed, and that one speed is physicality. So, no, it's something that was a goal of mine if that opportunity was presented, and it brought me here today.
Going back to that first conversation with Dan at the Pro Day in 2019, can you recall what you guys talked about, what you guys bonded over, what formed that initial connection you guys struck?
I think it was just like the intent and how you play the game. I think it was shortly after he was introduced as head coach, and I just said, hey, I admired the way you had your press conference and the messaging. That's how I look at the game of football. I want to preach and play with that desire, that intent, that mentality. Blocking is 90% of mindset, and just hearing like how genuine and from the heart that message was. I go back to that those quotes, quite honestly, quite a bit, and just how, that's something, and just the talking technique in the tight end position, scheme, and just we hit it off right away.
You coached Mason Miller. Just wondering, did you have input in bringing him here as an undrafted free agent, and what's your assessment of what he brings as an offensive lineman?
Yeah, no, I was asked about him, just football IQ, the way he plays the game, and at North Dakota State there's going to be, a level of physicality that's desired. And I just gave my opinion. And he came out and did exactly what I thought he would. He learned the way he needed to learn, went out there and executed at a high level, and played. It's hard in rookie minicamp with just helmets on, but played with the type of leverage and physicality that I would assumed he would have played with.
Tyler, how much of your coaching mindset, the embracing of physicality, is who you were as a player, and where was that instilled in you along the way?
Oh, it's the way I wanted to play. When as a running back, as a fullback, my goal was to be the hammer and not the nail, and preached to me from, you go back to Little League football, but the way in which I was raised, you had to have a level of toughness. And just quick story. So I delivered the newspaper in Fargo, North Dakota. every other day from about 4th grade until, let's say, freshman year of high school. And when you have to deliver the newspaper in Fargo in December, January, February, and it could be minus 25 and going through snowbanks, literally. So for me, I mean, that's what you did, and you embraced it. So like for me, there was always a level of I need to have a level of grittiness to accomplish the task at hand. So no, that's how I was brought up, and that was the standard. And if you don't reach the standard, then you're not going to fulfill the mission. So, and then just the things that were preached at North Dakota State. I mean, just the level of physicality that you need to play with. And from the staff, the players bonding together, I mean, that's just the way we operated. The Fargo Forum. Yep.
You obviously just inherited a pretty good tight end room. I just want to get your first impressions on Sam Laporta, and then for that number 3 spot, what do you look for? I guess what sort of traits do you want in that guy?
Yeah, with Sam, natural. I mean, just real natural feel in the pass game. Where can I continue to add value for him in the run game? He's got the right mindset and intent. You can tell that he's had, he has a really good foundation to build upon. And there are small things in the run game that I can help out with. But talk about low ego about the team, high capacity to learn, and an unbelievable work ethic. He's just our communication and the way he goes about his work. Excited to continue to help add value to his game. And then the third tight end spot, I mean, we've got guys who are going to go in there and fight, and I'm excited to see how it all comes to fruition from Zylstra. We got Kenny this offseason. We've got Luke Deal, who we just signed over the weekend, and Zach Horton. So excited to see those guys go out there and battle.
You're not just stepping into a new situation for yourself, but there's a lot of new faces on this coaching staff this offseason. So how have you kind of acclimated alongside maybe some of those new arrivals, and have you faced any obstacles just coming to the pro game?
I'm thankful to have a foundation of, a pro-style offense and be able to coordinate in a pro-style offense. My goal was to, have the top rushing offense in college football. And really push myself out of my comfort zone to understand the pass game. In my last year as coordinator, we were fortunate to be one of the most passing efficient offenses in college football. So for me to have that foundation, to understand the why and how of this style of offense, it's been not an extremely difficult transition, but there are some details and nuances. I mean, just the layout of the field, the spacing, the hashes, the numbers. I mean, just some of those small details that I've needed to learn and rely upon. Coach Brunell's been instrumental in helping me. Scotty's been great. And then in the run game, just learning from, one of the best O-line coaches I've been around, in Hank. So that's been great, and just going back and forth with Tashard, it's been great to just hear how he coaches and teaches that room. So for us to rely upon one another for feedback has been good.
Not sure if you're somebody that believes everything happens for a reason, but going back to your first interview, you're not getting that job. I assume that was for the tight end position as well. What was the value you learned from not getting that position, and then Matt Campbell runs a pretty good program in Iowa State to be his assistant head coach? What did you gain that kind of rounded out your skill set that prepared you better this time?
That's a great question. In my opinion, in football, the teams that win are the most connected teams and the most desperate teams. Desperate doesn't have to be a bad word. Desperation is hungry and doing things with an edge. And I think me not getting it made me even hungrier. So I just continued to be where my feet were and work. And then having the opportunity to go to Iowa State to see how Matt Campbell did it from a CEO mindset, but in an environment that players gravitated towards him. And just to be associated with the head coaches that I was with at North Dakota State, to then go to, a much larger scale at Iowa State, to see how he did it. It was so, easy to see the alignment, how everyone was, on a mission to do things better than they were ever been done before, the level of toughness that he wanted, the level of desperation that he wanted the team to have, the eagerness, the edge, because that's what I wanted to be associated with. I mean, for me and the success that I've been able to have at North Dakota State, winning 7 national championships, to be able to carry that there, win 11 games the most in program history, to go win the Pop-Tarts Bowl, to then just have, the mindset of being on a mission to do things better than they've ever been done before in a tight end room, and in a tight end room that's had really good success. Where can I add value? So to be able to learn that, to grow from that, to grow forward, that was an unbelievable learning experience for me. But then going back, it made me more hungry, excited, and just pushed me out of my comfort zone to learn, to evolve the way I saw offensive football.